Good afternoon. Welcome to today's Art Schools Network's No More webinar. I'm Christy Calloway, your Executive Director, and today we are featuring our On Your Way Judges series, Dance Judge Pamela Pietro.
Hello.
Thank you, Pamela. We're going to introduce you thoroughly in a little bit and explore your career pathway. Art Schools Network is an international network of leaders. We share and exchange our best practices, hopefully always improving. With your participation today, we would like to ask you to type over in your chat box or your question box, and I will make sure to get those to our judge, Ms. Pamela, and we'll make sure that you have an answer by the call, and if not by the end of the webinar, we'll follow up afterwards. Okay. The On Your Way Judges webinar series is generously sponsored by the College of Charleston, and what the purpose of this series is to pair judges with our membership so that the membership can ask questions around what are the expectations and suggestions of the judges and what are they looking for when they're adjudicating. The process of On Your Way is actually a program that encourages students to become familiar with online audition processes that college admissions offices are quickly running to. And we appreciate our partner Get Accepted, who is handling our portal for us. The On Your Way program is actually sponsored by the band Earth, Wind & Fire, who are going to be making an appearance at our conference in New York. We hope that you're with us, and we thank them for their generosity. So what's in it for the kids? Each student can receive up to a minimum of $500 scholarships. Many of our member colleges reach out privately to the winners afterwards, and a lot of additional benefits are showered upon them. And we're very grateful with our partnership with Young Arts. The Young Arts Foundation has allowed our winners to bypass their initial adjudication round. So if you miss the October 15th deadline, which is coming up very quickly, and I hope that you all get in your applications for Young Arts by October 15th. You'll have one more extra month, and you can apply through us. And if you win, you're in the second round with Young Arts. So you might be going to Young Arts Week in Miami. So this series, this No More webinar series about On Your Way, we're going to rotate through the different categories and judges, and sometimes we're lucky enough to schedule them at the same time, and other times we have to feature them individually. And so I'm really excited we have Pamela here today by herself because I get to go really deep into her area of expertise. You can see the others on our website. So here is Pamela Pietro, Associate Arts Professor at Tisch, Department of Dance. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I have to tell you, I was so happy to see that you have a degree from Florida State University. I, too, have a degree from Florida State University. Yes, I have a BFA in Arts History.
Oh my gosh, fantastic.
Yes, and I'm sure there's several other Florida State grads on the phone, and they're members as well. They're Motion Art Studio School, so that's great. But you now are a professor at Tisch, and I know you're going to tell us a lot about Tisch in a minute. Tell me a little bit about your rise up through these dance companies. Which one first, and what's a black sheep dance?
Oh, yes. So my first real job was actually with Anthony Morgan out of college, and he was my gram teacher. And he was doing a concert in New York, and he hired me when I got out of school. And that was just a small sort of performance. And then I went to the American Dance Festival as right out of college. I graduated and I went that next summer. And that is where I met Jerry Houlihan. And she had just moved to Miami at that time and asked me what I was going to be doing. And I didn't really know. I had just finished school.
Wow.
And she wanted to start this dance company. And I'm from Miami.
Wow.
So it was really serendipitous. And I ended up staying in Miami and dancing with her for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's a testament to just networking through working together.
Yes, exactly. And I always tell my students that, if you are interested in a specific choreographer or a specific teacher, the best way to always is to go take their class because they get to know you that way.
Are
Yeah.
you I would love to throw out Danny Lewis's name to you because
Yes.
he hosted for a little while some events for the Art Schools Network and invited us into some cool collaborations. And I have to plug New World School as they're hosting our board meeting in January. So we're
Wow.
really excited. So this is such a great coincidence. Miami's one of those cultural hubs where
Yes.
everyone's professional career somehow takes you there.
Yes.
Let's go on to the St. Joseph Ballet projects and the
Hmm.
summer faculty.
Yeah. So I there is it's actually called the Wooden Floor now. They've changed the name since we've done these projects. And what it is it's an amazing organization that takes us kids in basically after school. So they have a place to go and they study arts while they're there. They study dance. They have tutors there. They have people there that help them do their homework. And this is just a way for keeping kids off the street, teaching them the arts, and really allowing them to digest all of that information
Wow.
in sort of like an after-school program, but it's a much bigger program. And they hire amazing artists. And Mark Heim was hired, and then he hired me, and we built 3 pieces of choreography on those students.
What could you restate where that took place? I lost
I'm
track. That
sorry.
sounds
Yes.
where?
So St. Joseph Ballet, which is now called the Wooden Floor, is in Santa Ana, California, Orange County.
Wow.
Yes.
And we have a member school there, Orange County School for the Arts.
Yes, and I know OSHA very well. That's a very
That's
good school.
wonderful.
Hmm.
Oh, that's so great because that's how you catch some young dancers. You catch them early or
Yes,
late, but you catch them and they may not normally have access
exactly.
to quality dance. Wow, that's
Yes,
very admirable.
yeah.
Okay. I want to keep digging into your more recent past, and it jumps around a little bit, but it's also interesting, especially this international travel and
Hmm.
thinking about you being in China
Hmm.
and the current state of the world and Israel. And could you speak a little to that?
Sure. That is probably the best part of my job. And the thing that I enjoy the most is going into different countries and different dance companies and sharing my teaching or sharing my choreography. Through the American Dance Festival, I've gone to China 3 times, to Tel Aviv, um, and those trips have been funded by the American Dance Festival through a linkage program, they call it. And the in Guangzhou, China, there is at that point was the only modern dance company was Guangdong Dance Company. It's at the very, very southern part of
Wow.
China, and you get to it via Hong Kong. And so that was an amazing experience because they had only had few American teachers come in,
Whoa.
and they were very, very hungry for information. And it's just an incredible experience to be able to share those kinds of experiences. And Tel Aviv was that was probably by far one of my favorite places, and I'm actually hoping to go back. And I was there teaching for what they called the Dance Library series, where they brought in teachers from different places. And I taught classes, and I looked at students' choreography, and I mean, just to be in Israel, I got to see so much dance because it's such a rich country in its arts. Um, and yeah, every moment of that trip was really fantastic.
That's so beautiful. That sells the country. That,
Exactly.
that's so beautiful. Oh, thank you. And now we have you fast forward. You're at
Mhm.
Tisch, but you've
Yes.
been at New Amsterdam and guests all over the world. So that's kind of jumps back to all this networking. Every time you show up somewhere, one opportunity leads to the next.
I always hope it does. Yes.
No, it's obvious.
Yes.
Look at your list. I had to
Yes.
cull it down. We're getting down to let's talk about Hawaii because that's pretty sexy, and then let's move into the next segment.
Okay.
What were you doing there? You were presenting research. What was your research? What did you study?
Yeah, my MFA was from the University of Washington in Seattle, and I had done research on choreographers and critics and sort of how choreographers in their choreographic process and how they deal with critics and an audience member, meaning do they make dances for themselves? Do they make dances for specific
Wow.
audience? And also, what is the role of an audience member when they walk into an auditorium? And so that was part of my, and so what I did was I interviewed all different kinds of critics, Anna Kisselkoff and Deborah Jowett and Gus Solomons Jr. And I just asked them, you know, when you watch dance, what was it like, and the experiences that you're having and the questions that you ask. And that's what I presented at this conference in Hawaii, which was actually
Wow.
my first scholarly concert,
It says
scholarly, yeah, it was,
criticism of the critics. I love it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it was really
How
interesting.
playful, how
Yes,
fun.
yes,
Wow. That question pervades all art forms.
yes, it does. It really does. It really does.
It really does. And I got to pull something else out of your past. I know I wanted to quit it with Hawaii, but the Pilates thing is intriguing because
Mhm.
we have dance injuries in a lot of our schools, and
Sure.
so they've been slowly but steadily improving their preventative programming.
Hmm.
And that comes out of things such as you being a personal trainer and a
Yeah,
Pilates instructor. And um, bravo, I guess, is all
yeah.
I want to say about
Oh,
that.
thank you. Okay. So that was
Okay,
nice.
so yeah, it's fantastic. What I love about the teachers within our membership or the faculty of the art schools is that they're so diverse. They have so many different things happening in their lives. They have diverse revenue streams, huge webs and operational networks that they slide up and down and across. Tell us about Tish and your involvement there, and give us a hint about what we're going to see when we come there in a couple of days.
Okay. Let's see. Tisch is it's unique in that it's a conservatory and it's strong in academics. So those are two very important things, and it's in the heart of New York City. So,
That's a
and I
good
think,
one.
yeah, and most of our students are really interested in academics and interested in a strong dance program. And I have to say I'm very proud of that. I'm very proud that that's kind of what we really represent. It is a 3-year, 2-summer program, so it's not 4 years. Some of our students do decide to double major, which then pulls them into a 4th year if they choose to do that.
That's good
Um,
that you keep them in town year-round because New York is a different animal. You can't just like pick up and leave for the summer like a
yes,
more traditional university setting. You have to stay in the business, and the business continues, and that's
yeah,
great. I'm
yeah,
sure
and also,
parents appreciate that compressed schedule too.
yeah, I think they do. And also exactly, and that's part of it is that financially it's better. 3 years and 2 summers without that extra year of school. Um,
Mhm.
and the summer program is very excited. I actually just started to direct the summer program, and we'll have 6 companies in residence, and it's a 6-week festival. And it's really,
Wow.
yeah, and anybody can come. I mean, it's our students plus we have students that come from Salzburg and Prague, and then
No kidding.
yeah, and we invite students from all over the country to join us
I've
to
been to
come.
both of those places. That's so
Oh,
exciting.
nice,
Well,
yeah.
we need to get you on our summer arts panel during our conference. We actually have a pre-conference dedicated to high school and college admissions and matriculation, and
Hmm.
one of the breakouts is about what do summer programs in the arts do for students.
Yes.
And you would be such a great person to have on there because it happens to be that another dance educator is on that panel from Walnut Hill.
Oh, great. Yeah,
Michael Owen, and then that's just so great. Okay,
yeah.
well I made a note. I'm going to bug you about that.
Okay, good. Please do because I can,
So
yeah,
let's.
and I can speak of NYU, but I can also speak of ADF because I've been teaching ADF, the American Dance Festival, for 17 years.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, maybe we
Mhm.
should we have a Tish table. Let's make sure we put some things out
Great. Okay,
and
good.
put it in the conference bags as well.
Okay.
So moving on to On Your Way, the deadline's November 15th, and the reason I wanted to have you here today is to get you to talk aloud about what you're looking for in when viewing these segments submitted by these students, these video pieces of and you're going to be assessing them.
Okay.
So I'm going to back off the talking and let you kind of speak to what's on the screen. And we have 2 screens for ballet, and then there's 2 screens for modern.
Okay.
And feel free to go slow. This is a good time.
Okay. Um,
So, for example, we're asking the kids to upload a digital video of their audition. So they're staging themselves and recording themselves, and kids are really adept at this.
Yes.
And we have tips about that staging, but with particular attention to their art form. In 2 minutes, you can see we're giving them these very specific directions and these postures and poses and processes.
Okay.
So could you talk to the ballet technique and how they should think about the camera below? You can see the what we're asking them to do.
Yeah.
What address that for them. Give them
Okay.
tips. Pretend like you're sitting at their on their couch. We're all just friends.
Okay. Okay. I think one of the first tips I would say is, because I also watch a lot of videos for our auditions, is it's got to be clear what you're doing and that we can see you from all angles in a way. So even though you're in this like flat space, we need to see that you're able to use space, and also it's very important to show extreme detail and clarity in your technique. So that's just really important, not only for us at NYU, but I just think in general. I think that the cleaner and the simpler you are in your approach, the better it is.
Yeah, it's like removing the noise between the sound or putting the silence in there to it's the super discipline, and that shows when you're looking at culture specific stuff. This being ballet. So the grand adagio has to be very grand but very crisp, and
yes, that's right.
And okay, and the pirouettes, while they might take up tight space, the promenade should take up grand space. And
yes, and the pirouettes would have to be, are you doing a single or a double or a triple? I mean, don't just
be specific. Don't do one and a half.
That's right. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're working with music, then you really need to work with music. Be clear. Know what counts you're using. It has to be very specific, because you're not in front of us, but it's through this screen. So that takes even more. It takes even more energy to get your idea across.
It does. It's like multiple literacies all have to be aligned at once.
Very good point, yes.
And you're talking about being with music. Yeah, the music is talking for you, and you better not lip sync.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to go on to the next slide. That was fun.
Okay.
Now we're on the ballet solo. This is the second half of the ballet, and again, there's 2 more slides for modern. So take your time here and speak to us about the solo piece.
Okay.
What you want them to select, what you're looking. You don't want to be bored. I know that's hard for students because they think about you and you've seen everything and so much of it and such a repertoire. But at the same time, you don't discredit them for not having been exposed to that. However, you do appreciate to be surprised and interested. Talk to that.
Okay. Okay, so the solo is my favorite part because it's the part that most excites me, because that's where I can say, oh, this is really who this person is. It's the technique with the icing. And what we also always tell everybody is your solo should be about you. So even if you don't choreograph it or somebody else choreographs it, it should show the best of you. And all of the compositional rules apply. Space and level change and dynamic and force, and I just think that you need to know yourself enough to do this solo so that we can read you and that we can say, oh, I really remember that person when they did this, and I felt this from them. And yeah, the solo is when people even come audition for us, that's the part where I actually make the most ideas, or I give it influences me one way or the other usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful because it speaks to individuality as well as mastery and creativity and expressing the soul effectively and still maintaining, yeah,
Yeah,
high
and
standards and
that's right. And it shows your integrity. There's a lot of,
integrity.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like commitment. I have seen, I want to see someone flop big. I
Yes.
don't want to see someone flop small. I mean, I don't want to see anyone flop at
Yes.
all.
Right.
But man, I love it when someone's bold,
Agreed.
with
Agreed.
restraint
Absolutely. That's right. That's
and
right.
carefulness and
Yes.
yes. Okay,
And
so let's.
absolutely invested. Okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, I
No, I'm ready.
apologize.
No,
Absolutely
no, I'm
invested.
ready.
Yeah, like someone's going to catch them. That
Yeah, that's
they're.
right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's great. Okay. The modern, we're going to slide sideways over. So
Okay.
now this same student, which is so fun, is
Mm-hmm.
juxtapositioning their submission with a modern piece. So now it's similar and different. Um, you're kind of asking for the same thing, except how is it distinctly different?
Oh, yeah. It is very different, actually. In the modern work, it's different because it really is about weight and giving weight and allowing the movement to move through you, that you're not dancing on the surface, but you're dancing inside of it. And
Mm,
that's what I really feel about modern is
wow.
how much inside of this movement can this student get, and are they also doing all the same things? Or is it clear? Is their intention clear? How are they traveling and moving through space? And is if they're on beat, then really are they on beat, or is it more that they're making their choices to go against the beat? And that's all valid. Um,
Wow, I love that weight description. It's like a switch. You're weightless
yes,
ballet, you're heavy, or you're present in the body,
yes,
grounded, modern. That's I've never heard someone say that. I love
yes,
that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
I'm going to steal that.
Okay, good. Take it.
Oh, that's great. Who do you look to when you think of contemporary ballerinas and contemporary modern dancers? Could you name a few in each that just exhibit the top, over the top?
Yeah. Well, for modern dancers, for sure. I think some of the most incredible dancers I've seen dance for Bill T. Jones. They have that weight, but they also have that real clear, distinct movement style. Um, so a lot of the dancers who dance for Doug Verone would be another one.
Mm.
Um, I the thing that I love about watching movers is what happens between the steps. I believe that the transitions are even more important than the actual steps. And I feel like that is the soul of the dancer in those
Wow.
moments. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
connecting it up.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
exactly, exactly.
Could you
Um,
maybe throw out a few ballet companies or
yeah,
ballerinas?
yeah, yeah. Let's see.
I love that you stated by company. That's so great because a dancer doesn't survive by him or herself. It's impossible. That's ridiculous.
Yes,
They thrive in those communities of dance.
yes, absolutely. I think some of the dancers in San Francisco Ballet have really overwhelmed me. I mean, I just think that there's a certain way that they move that it's like real contemporary ballet, and I just think that that's extremely exciting. Um, let's see. I'm struggling to think of another.
How about international ballet? Or maybe how about culturally? You've traveled so much.
Oh God, I mean
Could we circle
internationally,
back
yes.
there for just highlight a couple of national companies maybe?
Yeah, I mean
Or
companies
international, I guess.
international. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that is, my gosh, endless. You know, I mean that is just.
I know you're going to wake up tonight and say, why didn't I say this and that and that one? And my friend's going to be mad at me for not saying.
I know. I mean, it's the obvious ones. It's like William Forsythe and Batsheva, and a woman named Inbal Pinto in Tel Aviv, uh, Anna Teresa de Keersmacher, these are the ones that when I want to look at dance, I go, yeah, they're doing something that's really special. And it always tends to sort of blow me away. I'm incredibly um, soulful when I watch them. I find
Oh,
I get completely fulfilled by what their process and how their movement interpretation comes across, and I mean, and the integrity behind it. I find it, absolutely amazing. And
if I'm so naive, I would love it if I could get like YouTube links to their work. I would post it on our Facebook page so our listeners and
yes,
others could
yeah, I will
see.
send you links. I will send you
Oh,
links.
that's great. Thank you
Yes,
so
yes,
much.
yeah, of course.
Everyone will love that. That'll be
Yes.
great. Well, we're coming to the end now, and we didn't even hit the second modern guideline. I skipped it, I think, on you, the modern solo,
Oh, okay.
and
That
I
would be,
apologize.
that's
Let's hit
okay.
that.
Okay, really quickly, I can just talk about that.
Sure.
Again, one of my favorite things to watch is the dancer inside of a modern dance solo. Something that's very rich in its movement quality and movement style. I don't need to know what the story is behind it. I just need to know that you know what the story is behind it, and be able to read that.
Yes,
Um,
the confidence of what's next.
that's
It's
right.
not improv. This is
No, it's
right.
the confidence of what you're doing and having um, the ability to transform that information across. I think that's very extremely important.
It's exciting. Oh, I love it. I love that we're going to see ninth through 12th graders submitting their solos. I can't wait.
Yes, me
So
too.
when you get to scoring, so you viewed these things and you've given everyone some suggestions. When it comes down to actually, well, how are they evaluated? There's these three criteria, and could you just speak to this? We will be averaging these three, and then of course aggregating with the other dance judge. But please just address technique, ability, and interpretation very quickly.
Okay, so technique would be um, what they're working on, their daily sort of ballet class, their skill level, the way that their legs and feet move, the clarity and detail of each movement. That's what I would look for in technique.
Fantastic.
I'm always looking for clean and simple.
Nice.
Ability is what is one's physical ability? What is one's physical prowess in going after a movement
That's
or
cool.
finding their way into space? And interpretation is, am I understanding what they're doing? Is it coming across me, them as a performer and as an artist? What are they saying to me? We are having a conversation. I'm an audience member
Wow.
and they are a dancer.
That's beautiful. We're having a conversation.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Thank you. That's just fantastic. Lastly, we ask for an artist statement, but it does not have any weight on the submission. And the prompt we're using this year is just to respond to the question, where do you see yourself in 20 years? Knowing that it has no weight, but we're just trying to groom kids to think about how to define themselves. What do you as a dancer think about an artist statement?
I think it's extremely important to be able to put down in words what it means to you. What does artist mean to me, and how do I explain that to somebody? What do I want to? I think it takes a lot of courage to be an artist, and so therefore, in that, you are choosing this, and actually, sometimes it chooses you.
Oh, I
And
love
so
that.
to put that into words, I think is an incredible exercise that I think all young artists should do.
You know, you don't even realize it, but you just quoted Jane Pietro, and she is a guru on gifted and talented. And I asked you if you were related, and you said you weren't. I don't believe you,
Okay.
because she says that giftedness is a thorn, and you can't leave it alone. You pick at it, and you
Yes.
can't pull it out. It just has you, and that's beautiful to be able to express it in a way that it's very hard. It takes it. Some people are blessed and able to be very eloquent, and others it takes them a lifetime to write about themselves.
Yeah.
What would be maybe one or two tips? So if the question is, where do you see yourself in 20 years? What what is the envisioning process to respond to that?
Oh, I mean, I would say imagine big. I mean,
Nice.
imagine big. Imagine
Great.
what could my life be? What could my life be as an artist in all of the aspects, whatever that is, performing or arts management or creating a community center for art, gathering people together who have the same ideas about a certain art form,
Ooh.
and welcoming of others. I think it's endless. I think it's endless, and I think that any good corporation should have an artist in it.
Yeah, amen. I
Mm-hmm.
love the socialist side of you. This is great. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just teasing, but the comments about the community, I hear that all the time. It's said in a lot of different ways,
Yes.
and I never get enough of it because depending on which like career industry frames it,
Mm-hmm.
it it,
Yes.
it always kind of gets to the same, what is it, zeitgeist, but yet it's through some, anyway, I'm losing myself here. So
No, no, it's good.
I want to quickly just say that if you do want to encourage your students to apply, or you're a student and you'd like to apply,
Okay.
that you just go through our website. And so you heard from our wonderful judge, one of our two dance judges, Pamela Pietro, and you can apply and she will review you online and give you comments and score you, and you'll have a portfolio through Get Accepted that you can maintain and apply to other opportunities and other competitions and other colleges. You actually get to select what you want to put in that portfolio and what you want to respond to. It's easy to sign up through Facebook. You upload your files just like you attach a picture on your iPhone, and either the school or we'll give you a scholarship or your parent will pay the fee. And then the judges will be able to score it as we described. We walked through that process with Pamela. And we're just glad that our members take advantage of this. Only members are allowed to participate in On Your Way. And what was very exciting to us the first 2 years of our program is that our membership grew as a direct result because students wanted to participate. So the schools joined. And I just want to thank everyone for their involvement and support. It's taken a lot of people to pull this together. The College and Career Committee is an amazing group led by Hallie Scheffler, and there's several on that, including Patricia Decker from Tisch, where Pamela Pietro is a professor, and we're going to see her in New York City. Pamela, thanks a lot for being with
But,
us today. I hope you
but
have a great week.
thank you. You as well. I look forward to meeting you.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a great week.